Okay. Well, we have, as of this recording Sunday night, it looks like the Celtics are going to improve to 1-2 on this week.
Hmm.
Not a great week, but could be worse. They're really kind of shit pumping the Wizards right now, which
Yeah,
kind of a weird
big
game.
difference from last week.
Yeah, but it's been a very odd game. It looked like they were going to do some more of like what we saw last week, where or this past week, where the second quarter they had a huge lead after the first, and the second quarter they started to slide a little bit and let the Wizards back in the game, but the third quarter kind of helped put this one away. Brad Beals looked awful tonight.
Very bad. No, I mean, and it's the same thing we saw in Chicago. If you want to get to it, that was the or against Chicago.
Yeah.
19-point first quarter lead. Gone. They lost by what? They lost by 15 or so.
Yeah. It was I think Cleveland wasn't the same thing, but and that game was that the game that no, that couldn't was that the game Grant got tossed? No.
Grant didn't play against Cleveland.
He didn't play. I know he didn't play against Cleveland.
Yeah, he got tossed in the Chicago game.
Okay, they get caught tossed in the Chicago game. That feels like so long ago now.
I
Uh,
know.
I thought we talked about last week, did we not? That was crazy.
No, that was Monday the 24th.
Oh, that's wild.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that I made comments earlier about how deep I feel like this team is, so I need to like kind of go back on that a little bit. I
Mhm.
think right now our back court is very deep. I think our front court is pretty thin, and you kind of saw that with especially in the Cleveland game with how big Cleveland is.
Mhm.
Um,
I mean, we also saw it in Chicago too. Vucevic went crazy. He had like what, 18 rebounds?
Yeah, it's wild that like I don't know, Al's like so good against guys like Joel Embiid, but he's like really bad against like the really like slow-footed guys. And we talked about like how Andre Drummond always kicks our ass. I don't know what
Right. Yeah.
but Vooch like I don't know, Vooch put on quite the show. It's very odd that certain guys Al really struggles with as opposed to others.
18 and 23 rebounds.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's tough. I mean, and Al, that's also a problem. Like with Rob being out, is not only was Rob our best rim protector, he's also our best rebounder.
Absolutely.
He's not like an elite rebounder, but neither is Al. Like Al's never really been a guy that's going to go up and get you like 15 rebounds in a game. We don't really have that on this team. The closest thing to that, I think, is Noah Vonleh, but Noah Vonleh really isn't consistent enough to be doing that and isn't getting the minutes to do that.
Right.
And really doesn't, yeah, and really doesn't warrant it based on his ability level. He's kind of fallen back down to earth a little bit with how hyped we were for him after that first week. But um no, yeah, our front court, it's gonna be dicey in games that either Al or Grant's out of. Because then we really get thin and we get really small. It's gonna be tough against some of these bigger, more physical teams.
Absolutely. I mean, Scal was talking about it today watching the game. The Celtics are 24th in rebounding percentage, just not a good rebounding team. Um, and that's it's going to be the big the biggest I guess the first test for Missoula now. We'll see what he could do about that. See if the rotations change. And Cornette played a bunch tonight. It may be for trying to combat that, but we'll see. Just not a great rebounding team at the moment.
No, I mean even defensively, like we talked about, like we knew they were gonna slide a little bit um defensively.
Hmm.
We knew they were gonna like obviously take a step back with Rob being on them playing a smaller lineup. But I guess they're coming into this game, they're 26th in defensive rating, which is like one of
Yeah.
the worst teams in the league, which we know they're better than that. But
Hmm.
at the same time, they're just a different team. So I think and it's tough. Obviously, Missoula got kind of dealt this team like right before the season started. Um, but they need to kind of figure out a way to make this this defense work. And a lot of that is like rebounding. Like that definitely doesn't help that
No.
they're just allowing these boards even when they do get stops or initial stops. Um, but I don't really see a quick fix for it unless we're able to make a deal. And I think the only piece that we have, I keep going back to it, is Pritchard. But also I don't know if we make a deal for a big man. Is it really worth it? Because then you have Rob coming back in a couple months. I mean, I think it probably will be if we get a big, not even like maybe a center, but just a guy that can come in, rebound, like be able to guy that can be a consistent rotation player. And
Right.
then when Rob comes back, he maybe slides down, but you don't know what Rob's health is when he comes back. He is someone that's dealt with injuries. We've talked about how Al is he's getting older and he's not the most durable player. And
No, and he's gonna be taking breaks
yeah,
throughout the year.
he's gonna have built-in rest days. And we saw him was it? Yeah, I think it was the other night he played 41 minutes in the game against Cleveland. It's like that's gonna
That's
be
not a rest day.
yeah, that's gonna be pretty hard on his body. So
Yeah.
I think getting another big guy, and we've talked about this. That's like the one thing we didn't really like about this team is our third center, and we've kind of been mixing and matching. Sometimes it's been more Blake Griffin, sometimes it's been more Luke Cornett, sometimes it's been you've seen a lot of Grant in there as the backup five. Even seen Noah Vonleh in there some. It's just we just haven't found a consistent guy that's going to be able to provide us those solid backup center minutes.
Right. And I mean, so moving on to that Cleveland game, we had all three of those guys play, Cornette, Blake, and Vonleh. Cornette had the most run, 26 minutes, 4 points, 5 boards, 3 assists. Nice, he's moving the ball. Blake Griffin 1 for 1 from 3, 7 points. And Vonleh 7 minutes, 2 points and a rebound.
Yeah,
It's not anything special, especially on days. I mean, Jalen and Jason showed up for this game. I think we were missing Grant too. I mean, the floor spacing not as great. Just the ability to knock down shots. I mean, they only took 33 threes, which is very different from their standard. I mean, if you watched the Wizards game today, it felt like at least that they took that many in the first quarter. So you're so right. There's no consistency in these backup big minutes. And okay, let me pose the question to you: Who do we go and trade for then?
I don't really know who's available right now. I also haven't looked too deep into it. I just mentioned. Sorry, I was looking at how many they took 45 threes today, and we still have a couple minutes left in this game. So yeah, a big kind of decline from or a big increase from what we saw the other night at Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still some guys available on the free agent, but even like I'm not going crazy. Rudy Gay's still in the Jazz, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's really one to solve it. It's weird. Like we do need a guy that like is in a similar mold of on. Like we don't need another guy that's gonna go out there and get points because we have enough offensive players as like already.
Yeah.
I can't really picture the guy that's available. Maybe that'll be my little research I'll try and do this week. Try and find a guy that is available. Maybe on a team that's you can already tell is not very competitive, like the Los Angeles Lakers, and maybe try and get a guy off that, one of those teams that already is going to be kind of selling and maybe wants to look to the future. And once again, I don't think Pritchard, unless he just got in, he hadn't really played much he hadn't played at all the second half from when I was watching. And he had a little run the first half, but I mean, he's not really playing at all. It's just like, what's the point? And we have a hole out of position, and I think we have the pieces that we could, at least get a rotation player. Like we get the guy that's a 7th, 8th man, and just a guy that's really just. I wouldn't mind just getting a guy that's a rebounder, just a rebounder.
My first thought was Kelly Olynyk, but that doesn't make sense. Doesn't make much sense.
I mean, he provides some spacing and some extra size. He's kind of like, I don't know. I think he's a better player than what the guys we have, but I don't really think he's he's never really been an elite rebounder either. It's really hard to think of guys that are, they're gonna be those guys that are gonna get great minutes. I mean, even Montrezl Harrell, like I don't think Montrezl Harrell will be a bad guy to fit on this team. He obviously doesn't provide any defense, but I
Right.
mean, he's the guy that's gonna be able to go and get you rebounds, and he will provide something offensively. It's really hard to think of a perfect fit, but Harrell's one that I don't think I would hate.
No.
Just because
Mo Bamba.
yeah, Mo Bamba might be a little bit difficult to get because he is still fairly young. I don't know if the Magic know what they want to do with him.
Yeah, he's not getting any run. He's averaging 12. I'm looking right now. He's averaging 12 minutes.
Yeah, that could be a guy that maybe be I think he'd be very achievable. He can do some things. He's obviously got a lot of size. Not an elite rebounder by any means, but he can get some boards and he can shoot some threes. So he's kind of, and he's young too, like maybe be able to re-sign him at the end of this year. Yeah, that wouldn't be one I hit. That's not a terrible one, especially if he's not really playing for them. Because I mean, they're kind of in a weird spot where they have Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah.
And they have obviously Paolo, who's mostly been playing the four for them, but they have a lot of bigger guys on that roster, so it's been kind of hard for him to really break out. And I mean, I'm pretty sure him and Wendell Carter are like the same age, and it seems like they definitely prefer Wendell Carter Jr. So it doesn't seem like they'll pay a guy like Mo Bamba long term.
No, it doesn't. Wendell Carter is a year younger, and is also playing 33 minutes as opposed to Bamba's 12. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Guy that is what he would be a restricted free agent after this year.
Did he sign his qualifying offer this year? I don't know if he did. Like I think he was supposed to be restricted this year. I'm trying to think what draft class he came in at.
I'm okay. Yeah, I am too.
He could have just signed his qualifying offer, and that would make him a unrestricted free agent after this year.
Okay.
Let me think. My brain's not really working 100% right now.
No, same here, man. I'm
still on COVID. So he was picked in 2018. So let me look at his basketball reference. Yeah, so this is his 5th season.
Yeah.
His current contract. Let me look at his current. Why can't I find his contract? His current contract is. Oh, he signed a. I'm very confused. So this is his 5th year, but he has another option. So
I don't get it.
so
Either way,
signed to a 2-year deal, so he still has another year next year. So that wouldn't be bad. He's making $10 million.
what's the money on?
That's nothing. That's nothing crazy. It's
What
barely
is it? 10.
Yeah, 2 years for like 10.6 million. So I don't think he's part of their long-term plan. So I don't think he'd be a guy that'd be too hard to get. And looking at the roster put tonight, they're pretty thin on guard. I don't know if they want that as their identity to be just like huge across the board. But I mean, a guy like Pritchard might be useful for them because they really seem to lack guards. I think they had like. Well, I want to read you their starting lineup tonight.
Go ahead.
It
Cole
was
Anthony, right?
What?
No Cole Anthony, right?
Right, and they decided they were just gonna go like as big as possible. Let me find it. It was hilarious when I read it. Oh yeah. So their starting lineup was Franz Wagner, who's I believe 6'7", Terrence Ross, who's I think 6'6", Bull, who's like 7'2", Paulo, who's like 6'10", 6'11", and Wendell Carter, who's like same thing, 6'10", 6'11".
That's big.
Yeah, like Franz is probably positionally like more of a 3. Terrence Ross, probably a lot of people consider him a 2 or a 3. Bull's like a power forward / center. Paulo is pretty much a pure power forward. Then you get Wendell Carter as a center. Like that's a big lineup.
Yeah, but I mean that's a lineup that at least 3, if not 4 of those guys can bring the ball up too.
Yeah, I mean the Magic, like they're scrappy and they're gonna be a fun team to watch this year, but I don't know if they would like another guard going forward. I mean, I don't think they'd be opposed to Peyton Pritchard.
No, I mean it just depends on the probably the timeline on Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, I completely forgot about him, dude. He really didn't.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see what the issue is with him. I don't know. Let me find him.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a bunch of promising young guys. I don't know if they want to continue going younger. I know Pritchard. I always consider Pritchard a young guy, but he is like 24.
Mhm.
Which is it's always weird when guys are 4 year like 4 year players because they come into the league at 22 and like you have guys like Tatum who are already like all stars and like vets by the time they're 22.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens, but I think some of this can be fixed internally. I think maybe switch up some schemes a little bit. Maybe a little bit less switching with Al.
Yeah.
At least
Okay.
keep him down low, so
Yep.
they at least a big guy down there. But I don't know. There's no real magic answer there. Obviously, I think the offenses look pretty good for the most part. We've obviously had some stretches where they've struggled, but I think this
Yeah,
is
they're shooting at a phenomenal clip from three at the moment. It just there's sometimes where for an entire quarter shots don't go down, like in Chicago.
yeah, which is tough. And like last year that would happen, but then they'd also like only give up like 15 points. So like even when they had a terrible shooting quarter, it'd be basically like even because their defense was so good. Whereas now if they have a bad shooting quarter, teams are scoring, 25, 30 points in them in a quarter, and it's
Right.
really swinging the other direction. So
Mhm.
um no, but I mean this team is extremely talented. I think we're gonna figure it out. I think we're hopefully going to be smart working Rob back in.
Yeah.
I do think by the end of this year, this team's going to be a very complete team. I think right now the defense does have some major question marks,
Mhm.
but also when you lose a guy that's an all defensive caliber player and probably your best rebounder in your roster, like your defense is going to get worse.
Yeah, you're
I
not
think
going to rebound as well.
what?
I said, yeah, you're not going to rebound as well.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think it just makes, I think at least I thought that it wasn't going to be quite as dramatic as it has been.
I know it is. It is just a little. It's not. Is it concerning for you at the moment, or is it just
It's a
interesting?
little concerning. Like, I knew obviously when I saw the roster construction, I saw once I found out Rob Williams was going to be there, I was like, okay, I don't think we're going to be a top defensive team, like top three, but I was like, I think we can still be top 10.
Yeah.
And now that we're this low, we're like even like out of top 15, top 20. Like that is kind of concerning to me. So I'd like to see that, see the defense improve a little bit. Because you're just not going to change, like even with Rob coming back, like that doesn't magically turn your defense from, I mean, maybe it does. I don't think Rob's like, I'm obviously very high on Rob. I don't think he takes you from being the 26th best team to being the first best team, like Magic.
Yeah.
We saw last year. I think we had 6 players on our team receive all defensive votes. Like we were a well-rounded defensive team with a lot of good defensive players.
Right.
I don't think just throwing Rob in there magically turns you back into that like a top 5 defensive team. Um, and really historically, you don't see teams win titles unless they have like a top 10 defense. So I
Right.
think figuring it out with Rob, getting us to at least like a top 15-ish defense without Rob when he comes back, that's when we hopefully make that jump back into like a top 5 defensive team. But I do think there's some adjustments that need to be made. Continue messing around with the front court rotation to see who's going to provide the best minutes for us defensively and like play the role the best.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's that's what it's going to come down to, and it's going to be like I said, the first major test for Missoula. Um, so we're going to see. I mean, what do you think if they okay? So they don't go out and get someone internally. What is the best option? Vonleh, Blake, or Cornette?
Um, I'm just thinking like in terms of I don't know, at their best, like what I think their best is now, I think at least Cornette would be the best rim protect. It's tough because like I think Blake provides you more spacing, probably is a little better at switching than the other two.
Yeah.
And then Vonleh, I think, is the best rebounder out of the three. And then Cornette, I think, is the best rim protector. So I don't know. I guess I'd go with um Cornette in the rim protection.
Yeah. Or I guess we just have to have all three of those guys play their best basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be a who's hot, like who's looking good, matchup dependent.
Yeah.
Because like obviously when we play a team like Cleveland, like they got Mobley and Jared Allen, like you're gonna need some bigger guys.
Right.
So maybe that's a day that we go with Cornette or Vonleh, and then when we're playing a little bit smaller teams, maybe that's when we can slide Blake Griffin in some minutes. So I think a lot of it will be probably match dependent. It's gonna be up to Missoula to play the right guys in the right situations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Matchup. That's a fair answer. Okay.
I mean, I don't have a magic answer. If I did, I'd probably be like
Yeah, I don't either.
some sort of basketball coach.
No, I'm not a coach either. So
Um,
we shall see.
that's just my guess, my best guess.
Okay. I like it.
Did you get to watch any football today?
I did. I watched the Pats game. I watched the Pats game, and then I watched the Lions. Who they play? Miami.
Yeah, and Tua popped off, didn't they?
Yeah. I came in second in both games that I had for this like DraftKings league. That
I was about to say, I was like, you came in second in fantasy. I mean, yeah, it's a nice way to put it.
right, yeah. No, the it's a 32-man roster. It's a DFS league, and I finished second in both. And the winner gets like if you had won the if you have the highest score, you get $50. So coming in second sucks.
So you just get nothing. You come in second.
Well, you win, but you don't get any money. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. So it is what it is, though. I'm gonna go into the last part of the year at like what I think I'm 7-4. So pretty good.
Not terrible. Not terrible.
No.
Yeah, I didn't get to watching football today, unfortunately. I'm
That's
watching
all right.
watching the Bills play right now though, so hopefully they can just light it up. Just absolutely bury the Packers.
That'd be pretty sweet. I want to see the Packers melt down and just
It'd be cool if they just didn't make the playoffs this year.
would be. Minnesota has only got one loss, right? I think so.
So yeah, I mean I feel like they've had a pretty easy schedule so far, but
Yeah. That was both of our picks to go to the Super Bowl, right?
I think so. Maybe it's someone different because you want to be different than me.
No, I
thought you might have said Philly, honestly.
I think I said Philly, Minnesota NFC Championship.
You might have. Yeah. I think I said a Packer or not Packers, a Bucks, Minnesota NFC Championship, and I had the Vikings winning.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is not gonna happen now because the Bucks are looking terrible. Tom Brady is like officially washed.
Right. He is done.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. What else you got for me?
Nothing really else. Halloween's tomorrow. When you guys tune in, it'll be Halloween day.
Yeah.
Not.
Are you doing anything in school for Halloween?
No, they had pajama day, but I totally forgot to grab pajamas, so maybe I'll just wear sweatpants and call it good.
Yeah. How often do you get to wear sweatpants to school?
Never.
Never, exactly.
So I was like, well, it's pajamas, and I don't really have pajamas, so I guess I could wear some sweatpants.
Yeah, I'm an adult male. I don't sleep in pajamas.
No.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We did our costumes yesterday at work.
Yeah, I was gonna dress Nala up, but I wasn't gonna do costumes myself. And where I'm living now, it's like that. I don't think they trick or treat. It's like pretty sparse, pretty rural.
Sure, yeah.
So I don't think there'll be any trick or treaters out. So I'm just gonna be chilling probably tomorrow.
Hmm. Cool.
But yeah, the kids should be absolutely jacked up.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's the worst, dude.
yeah. They're
Halloween,
gonna.
honestly, that's one of my not even a hot takes. I think most people agree with me, but one of my strongest takes is like Halloween should be on a Friday or a Saturday every single. It should be the last like Friday or Saturday, whichever one you choose,
Mhm.
um, of October every year.
That would be pretty sweet. Yeah,
It just makes so much more sense.
yeah. Like make it like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's like there's no point. Like I get that, like there's just no reason why it really shouldn't be. Like you just should change it.
Yeah,
Like that, and we should change the metric system. Those are my two of my strongest opinions.
I like the metric system too.
Yeah, it's way cleaner.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I don't really have much else. I'm not really watching any shows right now. All of them ended. My next movie I'm gonna go see live is gonna be Black Panther, Wakanda
Yeah,
Forever. Yeah. I did watch Barbarian, which is a very good horror movie. If you want to check that, I think it's on Peacock.
yeah. I heard.
Peacock.
I heard positive and negative of that.
I like it. It's like a little bit psychological, but it's also got some jumps. It's a good mix. It's my cup of tea.
Cool. All right, I might check it out.
If you like horror movies, I think you'd enjoy it for the most part.
Okay.
It's definitely different. I think, yeah, I would give it say good things about it. It's certainly it was entertaining.
Nice. Okay. What did you think of the finale of House of the Dragon?
I haven't watched it yet. I might go rewatch it later on. I'm gonna watch that and I think Andor just binge it one day.
You haven't watched any House of the Dragon?
I like stopped after like episode like 6. It was like right after the time jump. It was just
Okay.
a lot of incest, and I was like, yeah, I just really don't want to watch this right now. I just haven't gotten back to watching it.
Okay. I was disappointed in this with this season in total.
I don't know. I've heard mixed things too. I've heard a lot of people saying it's like I don't know. It's just like too much talking. But I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, it got better and better as the season went on." But
I thought it started really well and then fizzled out.
I don't know. I liked the beginning for a while, and I don't know. Didn't love it. It definitely didn't hit like the first Game of Thrones season.
No. And they also didn't do the episode 9 thing. Like they didn't do the penultimate episode as the big one.
Well, I feel like that's usually a Disney thing. Like that's what the Marvel Star Wars shows. I feel like was Ned Stark killed in the finale or was he killed in the penultimate?
He was killed in the 9th. I mean, Blackwater was the 9th. The Red Wedding was the 9th. The Hard Home was
the
the
Red
9th.
Wedding was. I thought that was the finale.
No, I don't think so.
I agree with you on the rest of them, but I thought the Red Wedding was the finale.
And Battle of the Bastards was the 9th episode.
Red Wedding episode. Yep, episode number 9. Wow, you're
Yeah,
right.
that's what I'm saying. They didn't. That is Game of Thrones' thing. The 9th episode of the season.
There's a lot of shit.
Is
I didn't realize that. Like I always just thought they were finales. I've really always binged Game of Thrones, so I guess I didn't really notice. But I know Disney does that too with their Marvel and their Star Wars shows, like always the penultimate. And there isn't always 9th, but because they mix up their series lengths, but they always do their penultimates like their big episode and their finale kind of like just kind of like a wrap up.
Yep.
But
I just thought like a lot of it was too slow, and I'm also trying to put it in perspective of like how like they're hoping to make this at least what 3 or 4 seasons.
I think so, yeah.
I'm trying to hold back my judgment because it could be that they're just trying to make 200 years last 4 seasons.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, I didn't mean.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it was just like it's weird because they're trying to slowly build the characters, but they also just like keep jumping. Nice. They keep just jumping huge gaps in time, so it's like they're slowly building characters, but it's been like 20 years.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
don't know. We'll
a lot
see.
of
We'll see
stuff
what happens.
happens. A lot of
Mhm.
stuff kind of gets thrown under the rug, or a lot of stuff is like, yeah, there's just the battle just stalled for 4 years, and it's like, huh, that's kind of odd. And all of a sudden, it just ends in one day. Like
Right. I don't know.
it is odd. We'll see. I'm excited. I think eventually, I don't know when the Jon Snow one's gonna come out. I think that one's gonna come out in like 2023, 2024.
Yeah,
But
that one will be sick.
but um no, I can't really think of anything else I'm super excited to watch or see.
Same here.
Big shows I think coming out.
Nothing crazy. I just saw the Avatar runtime was just released. It's like 3 hours and 4 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if I even want to watch Avatar. Like, I don't know. I wasn't a big. I liked the first one, but it wasn't like I didn't think it was some sort of like I think it was like crazy good that I would want to. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I won't. I haven't decided.
I'm probably gonna watch it. Probably gonna go to theaters and watch it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But you just never know.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. You got anything else for me?
no, I don't think so.
Alrighty.
Another week of work. I think I got no, not this Friday. Next Friday is Veterans Day, which I get off, which is nice.
That's cool.
So another 5-day week. Back on the grind.
Back on the grind. All right.
Well, I will see you next week, pal.
Sounds good. Counter one more counter after. Okay, we gotta make a thing. Every Sunday, I'll send you a trade.
No, I don't like that very much because I said one. Now you're changing the rules.
No. It's just one counter.
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
if I
send
can do
you the
that.
trade. I'll send you as many as you'd like. You can counter one of them, but it needs to be
I can. I don't know if I will.
okay. Okay. I'll at least take that.
Okay. Peace.